In this video, I want to walk you through the approach I use to study extremely difficult subjects, the kind that make most students panic because I have been through it myself. I studied electrical engineering, which is widely considered one of the toughest degrees, and on top of that, I chose some of the hardest optional subjects, especially in computer science. After nearly a decade of dealing with challenging material, I learned how to not only survive these subjects, but actually enjoy them. I want to show you how you can do the same. If you want to study faster without burning out, check the first link in the description, but for now, let's get into the real strategy. The first thing you need to understand is mindset. You have to stop letting other students' opinions shape your expectations. When people say a subject is impossible, they are only describing their own experience. I remember taking a finance course where everyone kept complaining about how hard it was. Ironically, it became the one subject where I scored 100%. Difficulty is subjective. The second mindset shift is to stop calling a subject hard and start calling it challenging. It sounds small, but it changes how your brain approaches the work. When you label something as hard, you create tension and fear before you even begin. Learning requires a calm mind. If you sit down thinking this is so hard and everyone fails it, your brain locks up. But if you see it as a challenge that you can break down and conquer, you open the door to learning. Every subject is learnable. Your brain is built to learn. Think about it. One of the hardest things any human ever learns is how to walk, and every one of us figured it out. If you can learn to walk, you can learn linear algebra, signals and systems, astrophysics, anything, as long as you give your brain the right inputs. Now, what actually makes a subject feel difficult? Usually it is one of three things. First, some subjects require memorizing a huge amount of information, like medicine. Second, some subjects are skill-based and require mastering lots of procedures, like mathematics, where you need to practice methods repeatedly. Third, some subjects are extremely abstract, like linear algebra in many dimensions, and your brain struggles to visualize what is happening. Difficult subjects usually combine these factors. So how do you learn them effectively? I believe there are three core principles: time, repetition, and method. Time does not mean studying for endless hours. It means spreading your learning out. Spaced repetition is essential. Think of how you learn a song. The first time you hear it, you know nothing. But if you listen to it every day for 2 weeks, suddenly you can sing it word for word. That is spaced repetition. Difficult subjects work the same way. You cannot cram them in a weekend. You need small, consistent sessions. I like doing short bursts, 20 minutes of focused work, then a break, then another 20 minutes later. Do that daily and you will make huge progress. Repetition is the second key. The more times your brain encounters a concept, the more familiar it becomes. The third key is using the right method, and the best method is active recall. Instead of rereading notes endlessly, you test yourself. You pull information out of your brain instead of pushing it in. When I was in university, I barely took notes and skipped many lectures. What saved me was active recall. I would read the lecture slides and constantly quiz myself. I created my own questions and drilled them. That is how you learn fast. Another thing you need to accept is that difficult subjects always feel overwhelming at the beginning. Every time I opened the slides for a tough subject, I felt lost. Formulas everywhere, strange diagrams, no idea what anything meant. That feeling is normal. When something is new and unclear, your brain reacts with fear. But think about anything difficult you have learned before. There was a time when it looked impossible, and eventually it became natural. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Give it enough time, repetition, and the right techniques, and what once felt impossible becomes easy. Difficult subjects drain your working memory more than easy ones. They require more mental energy. That is why you need to manage your focus. Short sessions help. Breaks help. There is a book called A Mind for Numbers that explains how your brain switches between focused mode and diffuse mode. Focused mode is when you are actively solving problems. Diffuse mode is when you step away, walking outside, showering, relaxing, and your brain processes things in the background. That is why taking breaks actually makes you learn faster. I love going for walks in nature because it resets my focus completely. Another powerful technique is chunking. Work on one small concept at a time, rotate between topics, and above all, master the fundamentals. Every time I got stuck in a difficult subject, it was because I was missing something basic, something from week 1 or even from a previous course. If your foundation is weak, everything else collapses. But if you deeply understand the basics, advanced ideas become much easier and far less mentally draining. Finally, I want you to realize that being able to learn difficult subjects is an incredibly rare and valuable skill today. With AI and new technologies constantly emerging, the people who can learn fast will have a huge advantage. Most people avoid hard subjects. That is why engineering students are rare. I will admit, part of the reason I chose engineering was because I wanted to look impressive. That does not motivate me anymore, but the skills I gained, the ability to learn hard things, changed my life. In 2 years, I went from being awkward and terrified of speaking to being able to talk comfortably on camera. If you learn how to learn difficult subjects, you can learn anything. It is a superpower. So go tackle your challenging subjects. And if you are burning out, struggling to focus, or not getting the grades you want, check the first link in the description. I can personally help you study more efficiently and get better results within a month. For now, keep going. You have got this.